Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, April 27th, 2026. And I don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight. I know you all know that I have had family problems going on, and I'll just start off, let everybody know right up front. My mom passed away Thursday, the 23rd, at about 10, around 10:15, 10:20 p.m. She died peacefully in her sleep. My sister, my family was with her at that time, and so she's no longer struggling, no longer in pain. She's in a much better place, and to be honest, very much at peace with that. I'm a very realistic person. Don't I don't pretend. A lot of people know who I am and how I am, and I don't try to put on a fake persona. I don't try to embellish things. I try to be as honest as I can with all of this, and I'm not upset. I mean, obviously, nobody wants to lose a family member. Nobody wants to lose their mom or kids or any of that sort of thing. And when somebody has lived a long life and is at a point where they are no longer happy, no longer healthy, and struggling just to function at all. I spent 9 days with my mom the week before, and was able to talk to her and thank her for being my mom and all the things that I really wanted to get off my chest, let's say, and just let her know how much she was appreciated, and she was alert and responsive to all that. And so mom is gone, and that's again, I am not upset. I've been probably emotionally more at ease and mentally more at ease over the past 3-4 days than I have been for months, because it weighs on you. Um, you don't want to see your family sick. You don't want to see your mom sick. You don't want to see your dad sick. You don't want to see that. And I grew up. My mom, she's been a nurse her whole life. Basically, she was an LPN. She worked in a retirement home. She was around this experience for like 13 years of her life, taking care of old people in a retirement home. My great grandfather being one of them, and she knew that she did not want that. She did not want to be in a home, being cared for like that, and that was it was her goal to not end up there. And so she had been around that. She's been, like I said, she's been a nurse her whole life, taking care of many, many, many people. Yeah, I mean, like unnamed amount of people she's taking care of, and she was ready to go. I mean, she was. I'll say this: every day that I was with her, she asked me, "How long is this going to take?" And that's heartbreaking. It's like, I wish I could do something for you, Mom, but I can't. And so, we just we're at ease. We're at peace with it. Now we're taking the next steps involved in the process, and that is, of course, continue taking care of Dad, settling, estate issues and all those sorts of things. And so that's going to be, coming up over the next couple of months as well. So I haven't been doing much, in the garage. I've been away for a period of time, coming back from that and just being kind of mentally exhausted. And, I did some stuff to distract myself and just, because I can't just sit here. I can't just stare at a TV. I don't do that. But I did, find myself some activities to keep me going, keep my mind off of things. And, I'm looking forward to progressing, but and I think there's a lot of people. I posted on Patreon as well. And I've gotten, quite a few responses from there and my personal Facebook page, and people that know me and know what I'm about. I appreciate everybody's comments and concerns, and really thank you for being, part of this, because As a YouTube personality, let's say, you get to see me as that, as working on cars and being a real person. You know, I don't pretend like there's a lot of other YouTubers out there who are just putting on a show for you. But I've never really done. I'm not that kind of person, and so you're getting that legitimate experience of me as a person, and life as it happens. It's just the facts of life. So again, thank you all for being here. I'm not sure what all we're going to do tonight. I'm off the cuff. I'm just kind of winging it basically. My wife and I, we went to visit friends over in Alabama at the lake just for a night. Just went over there. We got back a little bit ago. I just had just enough time to get the live stream set up. And, we talked about it. I said, I don't know if I want to do the live stream. But I had not committed to canceling. And I felt like, it's okay. Mom knows what I do and knows what I did. And so it's fine. It's all good. So again, thank you all for being part of this. And again, realize that at some point we're all going to hit that wall. At some point, hopefully we can get there, and it's a long walk to that final destination. I've had friends who've lost grandkids. I've had friends who've lost spouses, younger spouses. I don't relish that. I don't want anybody to have to go through that. I want to make it to that long road sometime, and at that point, when it's my time, it's my time. And I think we should all look forward to that happening, and not focus on the losses, let's say. So I'll move on. I want to continue, and we'll see how tonight goes, and we'll see who's here. But if you can ask questions. Car stuff is fine, whatever. I'm not shying away from what I do and who I am. So anyway, let's see who's in first tonight, and that would be Dave Tyson. Good evening, all. Good evening, Dave. He checked in early. Of course, I didn't create this till a little after 6, so early is still 6:14. So I'm glad Dave checked in. Terry Keithley, sorry. Good stormy evening, everyone. Please give Barry a thumbs up and like button. Prayers for Barry and his family. Thank you kindly, Terry and Betty and the cats. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. I do. Robert, the Infernal Craftsman, evening all. Hot and humid, near 100 degrees today. Will be much nicer on Wednesday when it hits 66. 100 is a bit high. I was checking the weather a little earlier before I started, and it's still about 78 degrees here, which is nice. So, no complaints. There's an extra bell. I don't know if I gave you one. Jerry is checking in. Howdy, Barry. Howdy, all. Condolences to you and your family. Barry, for your loss, we were thinking about you, even if the heat drives Robert crazy. Thank you, Jerry. Troy checking in. Good evening from coastal Georgia. I'm so sorry to hear about your mother. Me and my wife's hearts go out to you and your family. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. And again, I don't want people to perceive that I'm cold to this whole experience. I'm not. I am genuinely at peace with my mom no longer suffering. I can tell you that. That's a fact. Rick Gain, my cat and I will enjoy the conversation tonight. I hope everybody's doing well. Hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, Rick. Steve Reed, hello, Barry and everyone. Hope everyone's doing great. Don't forget to leave thumbs up for Barry. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Jerry, good evening from Middle Tennessee. Jerry's Garage, the Money Pit. Thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Jerry. Rusty's Restoration. Hello, Barry and all. Thoughts and prayers for you and your family. Thank you, Rusty. Ed Cucharella. Barry, sorry for your loss. Thank you, Ed. Thank you. Roger. Hindsight 67. Greetings from next door. Greetings, Raj. And Gig'em Garage, Kevin Barth from Dallas, prayers are with you all. Thank you, sir. And James at My Mustang Garage, good evening all. Good evening, James. And James, I'm sorry for not being caught up on all your videos. I know you've been putting out some good stuff on your channel, and also I know you've been putting out video shorts. I know I've been tagged in those, and I thank you for that. So I need to get caught up with what you're doing and how things are going with your convertible project. I did direct some people to you because they were asking about putting in a floor pan, and I said, go check out his videos because he's doing that exact process. So hopefully it gets you some more views. Troy Just, I'm in the process of installing the outer torque boxes, which is taking some reworking sheet metal. Your videos are a big help. Thank you. You're welcome, Troy. And yeah, those torque boxes can be quite the struggle. And I'm assuming you already bought the 2-piece, separated pieces. You didn't try to do the 1-piece. I know some people still try to go down that road, and they don't manage it very well. Dave Tyson, sorry for your loss. Thank you, sir. Nandu, good evening, Barry and everyone. My condolences to you and your family. Thank you, Nandu. Appreciate that. Pat Attic, greetings from Pennsylvania. Thank you, Pat. Travis Holtman, good evening, Barry. Or good evening, all. Sorry. Thoughts are with you, good sir. I'm at work and can't watch. Have a great night. Thank you, Travis. I'm sure you'll catch up later. Let's see. 427 Mustang. Hi, Barry. I'm sorry. Really sorry to hear she passed, but also happy she's no longer suffering. My parents are in the same place, and I know how you feel. Time catches up with all of us. Yes, very much so. And that's, I've said this to other people, and it's true. We hate to think this way, but technically you start dying the day you're born. You're on that path. There's no turning around. There's no going back. So eventually we're all going to get there. And as I say, I hope everybody has a long path to get there. We hear about people losing car accidents and fires and all the traumas and dramas we've heard about people, losing their lives. And if we can make it to 80 years old, you've done something. The way I look at it, you've really done something. So, like I said, I'm glad she's no longer suffering. That was the heaviest thing on my heart, was seeing her suffer and knowing that she was so distraught over the process. And so it is quite the relief. Bob Shoemaker, hello all from Oklahoma. Hello, Bob. Glad you're here. David Bullhat Guy, hello all. Good evening, Barry. Good evening, sir. Amir, what's up, Barry? Glad you're here, Amir. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. I said, sorry to hear about your mother. Hope she is at a better place. I hope so. I expect she is. I know she is. I know that for a fact. Rick Gain was watching the movie Outsiders yesterday from '83. It was set in the 60s. The gang with the rich kids, and it drove Mustangs, and they referred to the Mustang as a tough car. I don't know that I've seen that movie, but I saw a video clip recently about that movie, and my wife said something in reference to it, and I said, I don't think I've ever seen that movie, so I may have to look it up and see, and just to see what's going on with it. Jack White, good evening, Barry. Good evening, Jack. I hope all's well up there in Jersey. Troy, no 1-piece torque boxes. I listened to you and Robert on that. I have already installed the inner torque boxes, working the outers now. Okay, good. Good. David, I saw there was fire happening near you. Clearly you're out of the danger area. How close was it? It was not close. It was a good bit further south in Georgia. So we got lots of smoke. I'll say that. We had problems with smoke all the way up here, probably 100 miles away at least, maybe 200 miles. But the smoke was just filling the sky. So we're not in danger, thankfully, and I hope everybody else is safe in that area as well. Fire is one thing that I don't mess with, and I'll just let me just talk about that a second. I know that there's fear of whatever it's going to eventually take us, right? Hopefully, it's old age and that's it. Two things I don't play with is fire, and the silly idea of people. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Some people like the thrill. Climbing into caves, and going down in deep in a hole somewhere, and trying to get through a space that's big enough for a hamster, and they want to wedge themselves through this like they're going to do something special. I've seen videos about that. I've seen people that have lost their lives. They got trapped, and then water rose in that area, and the guy drowned in a tight little space that he couldn't get through. I don't even like to think about that stuff. That sort of thing distresses me probably more than even fire does. I couldn't imagine being stuck in a hole somewhere with no light and no way out, and you're just waiting. That's just a trauma that I try not to even envision. But yeah, the fire, I don't no, I don't mess around with that. I mean, and part of that reasoning is my dad was injured in an accident when he was about 45, 46 years old. He was injured in an explosion and damaged his back and his leg. And he's been disabled. He was disabled. He still is. I mean, he's 80. He'll be 84 next about 3 weeks. But he's been disabled since he was like 45, 46 years old. And it was an explosion. And he was doing heavy construction. And so it was a propane explosion, by the way. And so I've developed this paranoia of even the smell of propane or gas, not gas like car gas, but like natural gas or those sorts of things. I've developed a paranoia about that. If I've been in buildings where I've smelled a propane leak or whatever, I'm out the door. I'm gone. I'm not even going to play around. I don't care how much is in the air. See ya. I'm not hanging out. I am not going to do that. So and we develop these things. It's just the way we're designed. We see mistakes or see accidents happen, and we're like, yeah, that's not a good way to go. So yeah, we were talking about the fire with the bowler head guy. So the fire's down in South Georgia. James, it's all good, Barry. I'll be putting out front frame rails, torque boxes, firewall, and rocker panels in May. But next 2 weeks is getting floor in position. Also, blessing and prayer to you and family. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mikey, glad to be present, sir. Barry, thank you, Mr. Mikey. James, no hot air balloons. Every time a tragedy with them, it's being blown into power lines. I would probably not get on a hot air balloon. I agree with that. Yeah, I would not do that. But I probably would go skydiving again. I'll just say that. Like I was, in the Army, I was airborne. So I did jump out of planes, and I would probably do that again. But I have not pursued that actively. Hey, Matco man. Hello all. Sorry for your loss. Thank you, sir. And Amir, Fangled Project is coming along nicely, following it regularly. Thank you, Amir. I know I haven't posted much, obviously, the last 2-3 weeks. I haven't really posted really anything. And I haven't been doing anything. And part of that reasoning, of course, the family situation and all that. And I wanted to talk about this since you brought it up. The header problem we had with this car. And it was a pretty serious problem, as y'all know. I did a lot of modifications just to make it work on the driver's side. And then I started fitting the passenger side, and it just compounded, and it was just a nightmare. And so prior to me leaving to go be with my mom, I had sent Sal, TCI, pictures. I said, here's, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And I talked about it in a video. He said to throw those headers away. And that's basically, what I did. I was like, okay, fine. I'm done with these. So I've gotten a text message from Sal, and he has put together a new set of headers. Now, they're not done from what he's told me. They are tack welded together. It's his own design. It's not something that he started fresh. So he's made a set of headers, and he had planned to bring in a Mustang this week, a classic Mustang with a Coyote in it, and put these headers on to make sure they fit. Once he is satisfied with those, he'll finish building them, weld them together, and then he's going to send them to me. And so once I get them, they're going to get test fit on this car. Excuse me. And I'm going to do a video on that. And hopefully the goal is that there's no issues. So we'll be looking forward to that down the road. But that's a good thing that he's doing that. James, how's the tunnel fab coming along? Great question. So I left off a few weeks ago. I had gone to this place, I think it's called I want to say Ross, RAS, Machines. And it's a place that sells super high-end machinery for fabrication businesses. And my buddy works there. He's a salesman. And he started working on trying to make me a new tunnel. And when I left, I didn't even think about it. My wife and I got in our vehicle and drove back to Pennsylvania, and I completely forgot that this was even, part of it. My mind was just gone. I'm like, okay, we got to go. So he has continued to work on that tunnel, and he just sent me some pictures a couple days ago where he's fabricated some pieces. Like he's made the tunnel, the main tunnel, and then he's made a secondary piece, which is the upper portion. And so I'm going to go visit him at that place tomorrow, and I'll probably shoot some video at the place, which I've already done. I've shot some video there, and see what he's come up with. The pictures he sent me, I haven't downloaded them yet, so I can't put them on here, but it looks pretty good, as it should. So we'll find out more tomorrow, and I'll probably, depending on how it goes, I may post some pictures on Facebook or something once I get the pieces in hand. So I don't know if I think he's made several pieces, like not just like one set. I think he's made like 2 sets, and I just briefly looked at the pictures the other day, and it looks like there's probably at least 2 sets. So like, here's just I can show you, there's a picture, and their pieces are sitting on top of each other. So we'll find out. Whoops. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I don't know where my camera went. That's the wrong camera. Sorry, I don't know what it did. Something just went away. So anyway, the tunnel is being made, and I'll probably be working on that later, like this week, hopefully. Dave Tyson, I did some cave exploring in my youth. You know, I did too. I did when I was young. I did because when you're young, you're kind of dumb. You are. Um, and I've had experiences working on airplanes that gave me some trauma because when you work on, well, at least whenever I was younger and working on airplanes, one of the things we had to do is climb into the wings because wings on, big aircraft, they're full of fuel. That's where a lot of the fuel, most of the fuel is carried in the wings. And people don't always realize that. But there's these big round plates on the bottom of the wing that get bolted to them that create a seal, and that's your access point to doing repairs because there's fuel pumps in there, there's wiring in there, there's a lot of stuff going on, and as a maintenance tech, I had to climb in there, and sometimes you had to climb in, and you might climb in where the wing is 20 inches tall or something, maybe 24 inches, even big, really wide. And then you have to work your way outboard. And every stringer, let's say you go through, every rib section, it gets narrower and narrower. It's where you can't go any further. And so you get there, and sometimes you get caught. You get you have to go, you can't, it's not like a straight shot. It's not like just here's a hole you go through all the way out. It's like the hole is this way, and then the hole is this way, then the hole is this way, and the hole is this way. Or, you might be weaving through like a snake to get through that wing. And I had an experience, again, panic is your worst enemy. I got through partway into the tight section of the wing, and my leg or shoe or pants or something got caught on a bolt. And when you get there, you start to panic because you're thinking, I got to get out of here. I can't, this is a tight space. I can't be in here this long. And you start trying to fight. You start trying to, find a way to get yourself loose, and you can't do that. You have to just kind of mellow down, take your time, make little movements, and get yourself loose, and then find your way back out. So I did not enjoy that. And it was even scary because they would, you would go, sometimes you'd be put in the wing, and then they bolt the plates on to find a leak. And they do that they give you an air mask, you got an air supply, you're inside the wing, and they put it under like a vacuum. And the idea is they can spray penetrant, like a color material, on the outside of the wing, and it draws in, and you can find where that's leaking into the wing, and then it has to be repaired. So somebody has to be in there looking for that fluid to be coming through. Not on my to-do list anymore. I can't bend that way. Dawn's Manufactory. Hello, Barry and everyone. Sorry I'm late. I was mowing the grass. Glad you're here, Dawn. Yeah, and we haven't had to mow the grass in like a month. That was probably part of the reason I had that big fire south of here, because we haven't had much of any rain at all over the last month. And so it was supposed to rain hard Saturday, and that went away. It just didn't happen. We had a light rain, and then it was gone. So the grass isn't even growing here. Richard Vogel, good evening, Barry. I made it. My condolences for your mom. I'm really glad to see you back. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Amir, for me, it's fire and water. Yeah, I get that. But I think fire is probably the worst. Besides the entrapment thing, I think fire is, because at least I've heard, and I'm not saying this is a good thing necessarily, but people who have had a near-death experience where they've drowned, and it's a, and I'm just going with what I've been told, it's a more peaceful experience. You may panic, but at some point you're just kind of like, okay, I'm done. But a fire, yeah, I don't want that. So given the choice, I'd probably take the water over the fire, personally. I don't want either, but I'm just that's where my mind goes with that. Terry, do you have any gobs left? I do. Yeah, there's a few left. Yep. Trying to keep my pace down. Don't want to eat them all in one shot. Mr. Mikey, oh boy, yeah, yeah, climbing in the fuel tanks. Nah, that's not fun. Um, Roger, DC9 or MD88 fuel tanks, great fun. Yeah, yeah, those were the worst. Those were very narrow fuel tanks, and Roger was an ideal candidate for that because while I'm 5'10" and 200 some pounds, probably 205, 210. Roger is a more lean 5'10". I'm just speculating 160, 155, maybe somewhere in that range, I'm guessing. So he was ideal for that because they like long, skinny people that could slide into those spaces. So he had that advantage. I didn't. In fact, a lot of us couldn't even get into the fuel tank because our size of our chest was too big. So, yeah. Robert, I like exploring the caves and mines on the islands in Greece, but I don't go very far in and not without the ATV helmet. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mind, like, a regular cave experience is fine. It's the really, to me, the really dumb stuff where guys are trying to wedge through a hole where they got to put one arm out in front of them, collapse their shoulder, and wiggle through, not even knowing what's on the other side, and if they could turn around. No, no, I'm not doing it. I'll take the water. I won't do the whole little. Here's a dip in the cave. See if you can get through there before it rains or something. No, no, no. But a big open cave, I'm okay with that. I'm even okay with places you have to get low, and I've done that, but not the tight little. No, nope, nope, nope. Rick, it is likely that they have camera systems they can leave in the wings to detect leaks at this point. Sounds dangerous. It would be too complicated to do that. You really need a human set of eyes to detect the penetrant and see where it's coming from. It would be very hard to get a camera in there and control it and get it. I mean, or maybe in some instances that may be an option, but in most cases it's better off to have a person in there where they can actually see the stuff and identify it real quick. Joe Bob, what black paint and sheen do you use for a black 65.6 Mustang interior? I'm real close to painting and confuse myself greatly with what would look good. Thanks. So here's an answer before I say anything. James says 65 and 6 metal on doors and dash is semi-gloss, but some were black metallic. Okay. So I don't have a great answer for that question. What I have done in the past is I have a PPG rep who mixes up his own semi-flat paint that he uses for his personal paint work. And I've used that many times. I've used it on my 68 Mustang known as Jade. I've used it on the hood for the Mach 1. I did that with that same mix. I don't have a paint code for that. He just does it from memory when he makes his mix. So, like James is saying, a semi-gloss, and that's acceptable. But for me personally, I like more of a semi-flat. I don't like to have any sheen. So if you're doing it from a restoration standpoint, you can find there's at least there was companies that sell rattle can paint that is supposed to be the exact same as what they mix is what they, right? I say exact. It's supposed to look the same as what they used back in the day. But for me, I personally, I just like the semi-flat look. I don't like a lot of gloss. I don't like a lot of reflection, and that's what I go with. So I would say try to look up some of these, maybe NPD or somebody who sells those products, and see what they offer. But I don't have a specific paint code or number to give you. Richard, any new engine goodies for your Falcon? I picked up a set of heads, and I showed those on Facebook. A guy was selling a set of Edelbrock Performer heads with 1.6 rockers, roller rockers on them. And the price was too good for me. They have 202, 160 valves in them, and guide plates for push rods. So I'm going to go through them and make sure they're good, clean them up. I may get them Magnaflux, I don't know yet, or, checked, make sure, and maybe just get them vatted. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far down the road. They just happened to pop up, and I went and picked them up. Had a friend go with me who knows more about them than I do, and so he helped me, make the deal on them. They were raced. They were on a Fox Body Mustang that a guy was drag racing, and they said they had spun a bearing on the crank, and they decided they were going to upgrade and put bigger heads on this car, and so they didn't need these anymore. And I thought, well, these are right up my alley. This is what I want. So I have those. I can't really see them. They're sitting on the other side of the Fangled Fastback over here. But that's all I've collected. Besides, I still have, I have the intake manifold and the carburetor from Jade. That'll probably be on it. I have the transmission from Jade. That'll probably go in it. I have that Mexican Block 302, which is a standard bore. And I'm probably just going to clean that up slightly, put new bearings in it, and start putting it together. So that's where I'm at with that stuff. Talking about the airplanes, Roger, at the time I was 125, soaking wet with rolls of quarters in my pockets, so they came and found me a lot. Yeah, they like long, skinny people. That's a fact. James, AccuMatch L-946. So there's an answer for you, Joe Bob. So look that number up. AccuMatch L-946. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. Richland, restorations. Sorry. 2 questions. Do I need to sand 2K primer to 600 grit before single stage paint? I have sanded through a couple places. Do I need to use epoxy again or just paint with 2K? Okay. I would always sand primer before putting any paint on. You always want to make sure you scuff it. Make it, just go over it, right? You said you sanded through in a couple places. Do I need to use epoxy again, or just just paint with the 2K? If you broke through on the 2K primer, and you still have epoxy underneath, you could just shoot a little more 2K on there and be fine. It's not going to it shouldn't be a concern at all. But yeah, I always sand the primer, even if I go over it with a Scotch-Brite. You just want to get some little scratches in there, and then of course clean it all up and then spray it. That's my approach. So I think you're okay with all that. Dawn's manufacturer, I used catalyzed Rust-Oleum satin black. That's a good answer too. I like that. So there's another answer for Joe Bob. Catalyzed Rust-Oleum satin black. Very good. Richard Vogel, is AccuMatch the paint that Scott Drake sells? I heard it's a great product. I don't know. I don't know who sells that. James says, Richard, use epoxy sealer before single stage solve both problems. Yes, 600 to 800 before sealer. So the suggestion from James here, instead of doing the 2K primer or use epoxy sealer. So I've not used epoxy sealer before, and I've not shot single stage on a car. I've done it in small scale on interior panels, but I've never done a car in single stage. So he says yes to 600 to 800 before sealer. Richland, it is sanded to 400 grit. Now I meant sanded, and bare metal is showing. Okay, so you got to do something there with the epoxy is probably your best bet at that point. And Richard says to James, thank you so much. 427 Mustang, I would spot prime with U-pole 4-in-1 anywhere you sand through. I would have a full epoxy sealer as a base and spot with the U-pole if you happen to sand through. Thank you, 427 Mustang. So another good response. Let me get a sip here. I've said it before. I think my natural voice is just getting rougher. I guess it comes with age. It just gets just on its own, getting this kind of a raspy kind of sound to it, which would be great if I was a singer or something, but that's not going to happen. But and as I do these and I talk, it makes it gets rougher. So Richard to James says, sorry James, wrong Richard, but thanks anyway. Oh, okay. All right, y'all got to figure. Oh, Richland is what he meant. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. So, anywho, things are okay here at the happy place in the garage, and I'm gonna get back on doing car stuff. We're still gonna have a lot to do, as I said before, settling things with all the family issues that'll be coming soon. James, you can use most epoxy as a sealer. Follow the TDS, the technical data sheet. Yep, exactly. 427 Barry says you're turning into the Jim Dutton Yellowstone version of Kevin Costner. His voice rough as heck in that show. Not sure if he's acting or age for him though. Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both, and it kind of bothers. It sort of bothers me that it's doing this to me, and I know it doesn't make any difference. Nobody really cares, but you hear your own voice, especially me, because when I make a video, I have to hear myself talk for 5 hours while I'm editing, and all I keep hearing is this more raspy, rough voice, and I'm like, what happened? It's not like I'm smoking or anything. I'm not doing anything to make it worse that I can think of, but it just continues to get that way. So maybe I need to do voiceovers now. Maybe I need to start doing that. Come up with some product line and start talking about it for advertising. I think it was is it Sam Elliott, or the actor who played in Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. He has that voice that is pretty distinctive, and he does a lot of voiceover acting things. So you never know. You never know. Maybe that'll become something else I do in the future. But I think that's probably going to be it for tonight. We've had 45 minutes. And I've talked about the things that I wanted to talk about, and it's time to get in the house and get something to eat and relax a little bit. So Dawn says, when editing my voice, I get annoyed with all the weird noises I hear. I edit most out. Yeah, I agree. And if you notice, when I've edited some of my older videos, I do a lot of clips. I cut out a lot of little things now because I I don't like it the way it sounds. So, okay, that's gonna be it for tonight. So I want to thank everybody again for being here and sticking with me while I get through all this stuff. We'll get it all sorted out and get things moving. But that'll be it for tonight. So once again, thanks for being here, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See you.